Hey Daz, welcome. Do you want to load? Yes, welcome. Wow, that game loaded quick. Welcome, Daz. So let's change. That's it.
Holmes examined the broken jar that belonged to Finley's tenant. I wonder what this substance is. I don't recognize the odour.
Formalin, Watson. This jar contained formalin. Interesting, don't you think? I've been waiting for something for days. Just the tiniest bit of news that would make sense of this whole matter. But there's nothing, neither from the press nor the police. Unless Inspector Aberline is holding on to some information without realizing its importance, which is quite possible. It is time for you to return to the police station in Whitechapel, Watson. And didn't you tell me that you had a matter to take care of it? Take advantage of it to learn more about this pill and its contents.
Ah, but Holmes, it's late, and spending another night in this district is hardly my idea of entertainment.
I know, Doctor, but we don't have any choice. Time is against us. Take your pistol in case you run into any troublesome characters.
Fine, as you wish, Holmes.
Nice. Maybe it should be Whitechapel. Yep. Let's go to. That should be it. How you doing, Daz? Okay, let's. I think I have to go to the shoemaker. Let's change view. Should be. Where's there we go. This should be it. Change the view. Actually, let's keep it.
Good evening, Mr. Solomonovich.
Good evening, Doctor. What a pleasure to see you again.
Have you finished converting the harnesses?
Yes, just now. I got a little behind because of all the commotion.
Commotion?
Don't you start. 3 days ago, the very afternoon that you passed by, there was a chase throughout the neighborhood. Hundreds of people were chasing one man, claiming he was responsible for the murders these last few days. Schmonz! It was awful. I hope those maniacs didn't catch him. Better the police should.
You more just tired of the endless trolls? Yeah. I heard that Trish said that you had the same one because you banned that guy, and then he wrote some crap on your streams. Is it the same guy who's on John's as well?
Tell me, did John Pizer turn himself in to the police?
Things
What a dick.
unfolded as they should. Look in the newspaper, the Daily News from today.
Commotion?
Don't you start. 3 days ago, the very afternoon that you passed by, there was a chase throughout the neighborhood. Hundreds
Oh, it's the
of
same
people were
guy,
chasing
but
one
he's
man,
the one
claiming
that
he
the
was
Asian
responsible
one.
for the
Yeah,
murders
yeah.
these last few days.
Allegedly
Schmonz!
American.
It was awful. I hope those maniacs didn't catch him. Better the police should.
Farewell, Isaac.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Okay, let's close that. So it should be the police station. Yeah, I think Trish. I think Trish has since then took out the Discord links because obviously we don't have that dick back. I need to go to the clinic.
Good evening, Dr. Gibbons.
Dr. Watson.
Did you keep the cane we spoke of last time?
I was going to sell it tomorrow, would you believe, having not heard word.
Here are your harnesses, Doctor.
They are top quality, I'd say. Definitely worth the price of this walking stick. Here, it's yours.
Do you have any formalin here?
No, definitely not. They have it in university hospitals to conserve anatomical specimens in jars. But in a little clinic like mine, we don't keep anything but bad memories.
Do you have any formalin here?
No, definitely not. They have it in university hospitals to conserve anatomical specimens in jars. But in a little clinic like mine, we don't keep anything but bad memories.
Well, farewell, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Watson.
I agree. I
must
don't
go to Miss
understand.
Bellows.
I don't understand the mentality. I don't. What's the point?
Yes, Doctor?
Could you tell me what type of pill this is?
Yes, we have those here. It's not really a medication.
Thing
We
is,
give
that
them to
photo
patients with
could be
chronic
fake for all
respiratory
we know.
conditions like tuberculosis.
Did you have a patient by the name of Annie Chapman, the woman killed 3 days ago?
Indeed. She came in the morning of her death. Poor woman.
Did you give her these pills?
Yes, now that I think of it. She actually came in twice. The first time I gave her an almost empty container without making her pay. She came back during the day and said she dropped the container and stepped on the pills. She wanted to know if I could give her more again without paying. I refused. After she left, a patient who was there told me that he lives at the same place and confided that she had been lying. He saw the pills fall in the tenement's communal kitchen, but the woman immediately wrapped them up in a piece of paper.
Where did this paper come from?
According to this man, she'd found it near the chimney in the kitchen.
Anyone could have thrown that paper there. That envelope can't have anything to do with the murder.
Pardon, Doctor?
Nothing. I was just talking to myself.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, though, how YouTube works, you can't see who that is.
Well, farewell,
That's-
Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Watson.
It'd be good if you
I
could
must
see
go to Miss Bellows.
in a bit. It'd be good if you could see who is disliking him. Because it's some with a lot of ults. Yeah. The thing is, though, that's quite common. A few too many people have ults. You ban them, they come back. You ban that, come back. Ban that, come back. Blah blah blah. And it takes. You can do. Well, you know what it's like. You can make an ult in seconds. Really, but brothel.
Can I get a refill, please?
Nobody did.
Good evening, ma'am. Your door was open. Isn't that a little dangerous?
Hello, Doctor. Don't worry if the looks of anyone who enters doesn't please me. Me and my pistol know how to convince them to leave.
Do you happen to know Annie Chapman, the poor woman who was killed 3 days ago?
Dark Annie? Like all the drifters in the area, I've seen her once or twice. With respect to the dead, Annie really was the bottom of the barrel.
What do you mean?
Well, in our profession, the pretty young ones go out when night has barely fallen and don't have a problem finding takers. But poor girls like Annie or Polly Nichols, who aren't as tender and are often sick, sometimes trudge around for a whole night in the cold and the rain before landing a client. And that doesn't help their appearances either. They don't have much choice about paying for a bed for a few hours, a glass of gin or a hot meal.
How terribly sad.
That's the price of survival in Whitechapel, my angel. One of my girls knew Annie for some time. They bought some jewellery on the black market, I think.
Jewellery? How could Annie Chapman have possibly afforded jewellery?
Luxuries for a woman are always relative to her condition, Doctor. As a matter of fact, it was real cheap junk. Annie got 3 assorted brass rings, I think. It's been said I have a memory for jewellery.
How is Lucy keeping?
She's doing well, Doctor, but believe me, it won't last. Rare are the girls who can build a future in our profession.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I understand that. It's all good, Daz. It's all good. Yeah, fucking scumbags.
Very well, I shall let you get back to work, Mark.
See you soon, my love.
See you soon, my love. You should hear some of my crappy Sherlock impressions in a bit. Items, the cane.
You're still there, Doctor?
Yep.
I found the cane that was stolen from your client. Here it is.
Doctor, you are a real saint, I can see that. I'll finally be able to present my bill to this damned painter. If by chance you see him, tell him that a little surprise awaits him here.
You told me you would give me some information on this Dr. Tumblety.
Agreed. He's a Canadian or an American. He parades from time to time through the neighbourhood in a 50-guinea suit and acts like a doctor. But for business, he isn't worth it. This damn Yankee hates women. The few times that he was approached by the girls, he spit on them, all the while hurling insults. It would seem that he was hunting for the bad boys. He's looking for trouble, that animal.
Does he frequent any pub in particular?
Aye, the Wasp's Nest on Burner Street, I think. A seedy spot even by our standards.
Very well, I shall let you get back to work, Mark.
See you soon, my love.
Oh, that is elementary Holmes. Yeah, I'll try to do some of my crappy impressions in a bit. So now, oops, wrong button. I've got a pub I can go to. There we go. That should be it. The thing, because these games
The
are
Wasp's
old,
Nest.
it's so quick
This
to load.
pub looks even more
Okay, that's seen
disreputable
a
than the
bit.
Golden Lion in Baker Street. Good evening, sir.
It'll be the coup of my career, Governor said. Ha! You'll make loads of dots of the paper, he said.
You're a journalist?
That's so. Tom Bulling at your service. The Whitechapel ferret, the wizard with the scoop.
You don't appear to be in a state to write anything, my friend.
You're mistaken. Whiskey passes through the blood and turns into ink. Simple. You see, mugs and inkwells are all the same.
Don't you think you should settle your tab and go home?
My red ink? Where's my red ink? I won't even pay half a halfpenny if they don't return my red ink. It's my blood, you hear?
Okay, so he needs his ink
Very well, I'll be on my way.
and his drug. Anyone else?
Hey, you can't go in there. It's private. Got it?
This is the sink where the barmaid puts the glasses to soak. Look, red ink. What's that doing here? The bottle is closed. There must still be some ink inside, and it looks like a glass. The barmaid must have put ink into the sink by mistake.
Right. Do I get in your way? Me?
If you'll excuse me, sir. Good evening, sir.
Well, I know you. Why, we met at Miss Poolman's the other day. So you've come to slum it in Whitechapel, eh?
Do you you know Dr. Tumblety, a Canadian or American chap? Quite an extravagant dresser. Frequents this pub now and then.
Are you intimate?
No. What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. I just wanted to prove my discretion concerning this man, insomuch and so far as I know him. You wouldn't like it if one day the tables were turned and everyone was talking about why you were in the borough. Isn't that so?
As it happens, I saw Miss Pullman recently. She told me that she couldn't wait to see you again. She said something about a surprise that is waiting for you at her establishment.
Why, that is some of the best news I've heard, my friend. As thanks, I would like to let you in on a secret. The man that you were talking about, and whom I happen to know by sight, passed by and went through that little door that you see over there. Another man let him in. They weren't together for more than a few minutes, to be sure, eh?
That's useful information. Hey, Trishy. Oh, Trishy. Oh, Trishy. Oh. Hello, my little Northern duck. I'm doing the Vortex, watching 2 streams at once. Nice. Yeah, so when you get to like 3, it's a bit much. But, yeah, and welcome back, Des.
Well, I will continue my search.
Ah, love.
But what is this person trying to imply? This matter is beyond me.
I think we have to speak to this clone. So let's give him his ink. Items. Bump.
You're the best. The boss told me. My red ink. Well, where's she be?
You're a journalist?
That
You don't you think
my
Shh, quiet.
I found your red ink, my friend? You should settle up and head home.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. The spring-heeled phantom will be revived.
Okay, that was a waste. Thing is, you do all that and you can't even read.
Oi,
Whatever.
what'll it be to drink, Gav?
What'll it be to drink, Gav?
Greetings, my good man. Could I have a pint?
Doing 2 streams and doing some work. Yeah, no, it's Trish. It's
Here,
all
Gav.
good. It's all good, love. It's all good.
I've been told that Dr. Tumblety might be found around here. Is that so?
I don't do a roll call of all the drunkards here. I've
What,
got
you
my
mean
hands
like
full
food
just making
shopping?
sure I get their money.
Des?
What's behind that locked door over there? Can I go in?
Not likely. And let me be unless you're wanting a drink. Got it?
Here you go. It's on the journalist, my friend.
I owe you one. The next one is on me. What'll it be?
Nothing, thanks. But I may need your help. Listen, my friend. I would like you to let me in the door over there.
You're a bobby. A peeler?
Absolutely not, my friend. I am a doctor.
Fine. I owe you this at least. There's a bloke behind that door there. No pity Bluto. Let's just say he wants to lay low for a moment. So I don't think he'll be opening the door just now. Unless... Tell him you have word from Squibby. That'll open the door. But who can say what'll happen when the door closes?
From Squibby.
Goodbye, my friend.
Oi! That's it!
He's really nice and he's like nasty at the same time. Here we go.
Let me in. I have news from Squibby. But stay calm.
And who are you? Where's Squibby? He's out.
To be honest, I don't actually know this Squibby chap.
Oh,
I
this
was actually
Squibby
wondering
chap,
if you knew
chaps.
Dr. Tumblety, a Canadian or American fellow. He came in...
Sure we know him.
Excellent. Can you...
You know about gas?
I'm afraid not. I am a doctor.
Then I ain't interested. You can be leaving now. But if I find out who snitched to the peelers, I'll find you. Got it?
But I can pay you for...
Keep your coins for the paupers, or one of the gas boys who ain't afraid of nothing and knows how to hold his tongue. You bring him to me. I'll meet with you.
What a charming guy. What a charmer. Oh, okay, there's no worries. Not a problem. And then I think it's a trip to the old police station, I think. So let's have a look. Done that, done that. Done that. Nothing there. I'm in the pub. PlayStation, I think. Also, it's set as low latency in Twitch. So it's all... I think it's about 3-second gap, I think. It's around 3 seconds. No, I've got to go to the boarding house.
There is a strong smell of gas. It seems to be coming from the abandoned building. Good evening, Finlay. How are you?
Oh, good evening, Doctor. So. And you?
It smells of gas here.
You might say, Doctor, without wanting to speak ill of the force, I have to wonder if the police are up to something.
What do you mean?
Well, I was outside yesterday evening when the light went out at my place, and a gas smell came from the abandoned building across from my place. And a minute later, the police arrived and was snooping all around like it was them who hit the gas before arriving.
Have things sorted themselves out with your strange tenant?
Don't talk about it, Doctor. That man is truly bizarre. He goes to the most sordid locations once night falls. 3 days ago, my wife told me she saw him come in with blood-stained clothes and a fearsome look.
Interesting. What does he look like, and how old is he?
Oh, he's my age, give or take, so the other side of 50. He's always dressed in a striking manner, with an American hat. He's big, close to 5'11", I'd say. He has a strange voice, not just his accent, see, his voice.
Very well. Goodbye for now, Finlay.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Now then, let's go to the police station.
It's all looking now like this guy that we can't find might be the killer, because he's so suspicious, but we'll find out. Can I go upstairs? I think so the police station's next. So let's go to the old cop shop. Dum.
Good evening. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Not at all, Doctor. This man, Mr. Richardson, is a witness to the horrid affair at 29 Hanbury Street, the murder of Annie Chapman. We are discussing the relevance of his testimony.
You're probably not in a position to discuss it with me, but I would like to know more about what you call the relevance of this young man's testimony.
Oh, there's no secrecy. It's simply that the testimony given by Mr. Richardson doesn't match the time of death given by the coroner, Dr. Phillips.
What was the time of death, according to him?
Before 4:30 in the morning.
My conclusions were the same. Were there any other conflicting testimonies?
Well, 2 other witnesses summoned at the preliminary inquest gave testimony, but in these cases too, the times don't match.
Do you remember what it was they said?
I didn't question them myself. A colleague of mine took down their statements on paper, but on deciding they were of little use, he tore them up and threw them in the bin. There's no point in being bogged down with useless paperwork.
My conclusions were the same. I will take my leave, Humphreys.
Goodbye, Doctor.
I think I'm supposed to do something now. Can't talk to me yet. It's been so long since I played this, holy moly. Here we go.
Here are the ripped statements. I can piece them together again.
Oh moly. That's it. I'll try and for these type of puzzles, I always try and do, you know, the edge. This might take a bit. That's probably going to be testimony. I think that's it. So let's keep going. We need to do. That's it. Always do the edge, like when you do a jigsaw. You always do the edges. That's it. So on the morning. Long, is it long? Okay. Let's try the bottom. Okay, so there's that one. Damn, this is gonna take a bit. This is gonna take a few minutes. Holy crap! Just bear with me, ladies, if you're still there. So. Okay. Okay. So that's working. That's pretty good. For that one. Okay, nice. Let's find this. So I need a bottom piece. Nice. From behind, something there. Nice. Wooden, a respective something. respective. That might go there. Okay. Okay, this should be here. At least we're getting near the bottom. That's it, this should be easy to do now. Hey, Frostman, welcome. Oh, Elementary Frosty, welcome. Yeah, that is Elementary Holmes. Let's go for this one. Puzzles. You got the puzzles. I think this game's got easier puzzles than the Agatha Christie game I played.
There, all
Nice.
done.
Guile,
Holmes
GG.
couldn't have done better himself.
Welcome, Nick. Okay.
An old report on arrests that took place a few years earlier. May I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Watson. I am...
Yeah, I'm
You
good,
wouldn't
thanks,
be the
Nick.
chap what writes the detective stories in that there paper?
Well, yes, indeed,
Pretty good,
my
thanks, pretty good.
stories have been published in the Strand.
Go, blimey, wanna tell me old mum?
It would seem your testimony is the subject of some debate. Could you tell me what it was about?
They'll be telling I'm a bit befuddled about the times that I told them. But it can't be so. I knows what I sees and what I don't sees that morning.
What did you see, or what didn't you see?
How you doing,
And at
Nick?
what time, would you say?
I'll tell you this for nothing. It's me old mum who lives at the house where the body was found out back in the garden. She has her shop at the bottom to the right of the stairs. Her door was broken down not too far back because it's a real zoo it is. Right, the morning it happened, I head that way to see if me old mum has finally had the place broken into. It was 4:45 when I got there. That I'll swear on me dear
Even
old
that
mum's
Apex, I
life.
still need to play
I
that
had a
again.
look round to see if the cellar had been taken. No. I had a little sit down on the stairs by the courtyard because me shoes were causing me no end of pain and I had a cut and all. I didn't seize a single thing below the steps, Doctor, not one single thing. If there was some bird all covered in blood, tain't no how I could have missed that, even if it were night time. Right, 5 minutes after getting to number 29, I had to clip off. And now they tells me that either I can't tell time no more, or I was fixing me loafer next to a stiff that was still steaming. All right then. Evening, gents.
Evening, gents. Yeah, I still need to. The last time I played that game, Nick, was
Yes, Doctor?
with you and Blue.
So, how far along are the investigations?
But,
By the way, have you heard of a Dr. Tumblety?
no. Is it important?
Yes. Well, no, maybe.
Hey, how you doing,
Actually,
Kev?
I don't
Oh,
know.
so
I have
long,
heard about
Mr.
this
Holmes,
man,
but there
his
has been
frequent
another
nocturnal
incident
outings
involving
and bizarre
Moriarty.
What
behaviour.
does
Welcome.
this chap look like, Doctor?
Welcome,
And where
Kev.
can we find him?
The last I heard was that he was staying at Finley's place, the man who was looking for me a few days ago.
It would greatly assist us if you could ask Finley what your strange associate looks like. We could then see if the description matches any witness accounts.
I need to find a posh streamer.
Tumblety is a man around 5'11", about 55 years old, extravagantly dressed and with a rather distinctive voice. He boards at Finley's. You should know where that is, as the police were there only yesterday. Their arrival coincided with a strange gas leak.
Ah, yes, I know where you mean. Indeed, there was an odd affair with the gas. It was rather unsettling. We were searching for a well-known scoundrel who was ratted out by Squibby, the chap we followed and saved from the pack a few days ago. This thug, no pity Bluto, must have been in the abandoned building in question. But there was no sign of him when we arrived. Furthermore, an inspector said that, given the smell, the thingamabob that supplies gas to the building was probably damaged. So we took no risks and were called away somewhere else.
I will take my leave, Humphreys.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Well, it would seem that I have all the information I need for my investigation. Anyway, this fellow Bluto at the Wasp's Nest is rather shady and doesn't look like he'll want to cooperate. I'd be better off returning to Baker Street. Holmes will certainly know what to do.
Oh, Trishy.
And besides, I am worn out.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, Trish. I'm a bit tired, but I'm not too bad. Oh, that Trishy. Oh, Trishy. Good. Yeah, no, I'm not too bad. I like this game. It's quite a chill game for a Friday night. It's all good. But then the next game won't be chill. Holy crap, that definitely won't be chill. Alright, let's go back to Baker Street. Bit of Baker. No, yes.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home.
Home, sweet home.
There we are, Holmes. I've told you in great detail everything that happened last night.
Excellent work, Watson. We shall now be prepared to answer a few questions about the horrible murder in Hanbury Street.
Do you think we are now in a position to find out the identity of the murderer of these two women?
No, I don't think so. It's outside of our scope and not our responsibility. As much as you've done for Leather Apron and the affair with the pills, our mission is to help the police by ensuring that they don't get caught up following false leads and to point them in the right direction. Let us start from what we know with some certitude. As you have just said, it is almost certain that the same person killed the Bucks Row and Hanbury Street victims. The reason to assume as much are numerous, and I shan't elaborate here. What do these two victims have in common?
Ooh, we'll go answer questions. Ooh, I've got to use brain power. Trishy's voice would be an awesome voice. True. Trishy's definitely the closest. 22 so is Trish at 221A. Trish. Trishka at 221A Baker Street. Oh god. I've got on to things. Oh crap. Damn, I've got to use brain power. Oh.
Apparently nothing, Holmes.
Are you feeling all right, Watson? Come on, are you quite sure these two women had nothing in common?
Perhaps they both knew someone in common.
Quite literally, you're right, the killer. But that doesn't tell us much. Had these two women had an acquaintance in common, the police investigation would most certainly have found out about it. And yet it didn't.
It's true these two women were in the same profession, but...
Indeed, Watson, these two women were both prostitutes. That is of vital importance, Watson.
My memory from your examination of the scene is rather hazy. Didn't you say something about the killer's frame of mind?
I was talking about the victim's possessions that were placed on the ground and the rings missing from Annie Chapman's fingers. This killer is a cunning predator, comes from a rather humble background, and shows steely self-control in carrying out the murders.
Something is puzzling me, Holmes. Richardson's testimony contradicts the time of death given by Dr. Phillips, which also matches my own, 4:30 a.m.
And yes, we shall confirm that, Watson, and attempt to determine the precise time of death. In order to do that, we will need to place everyone involved on a timeline. Only after that will we be able to place the knife symbolizing our killer. Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
Oh, Watson. It should be here. There we go. Actual thoughts have to be done then. Actual brain power, holy moly. Let's have a look. So I have to move. Oops, no.
Let's put the time of death as assessed by Dr. Phillips on the timeline.
So it's 4:30.
The assessment of the time of the murder given by Dr. Phillips and yourself, Watson, 4:30 a.m.
So yeah, see when it's green, that means it should be correct. If it ever goes red, you're wrong. So what I have to do. What the hell do I have to do? What is it, Trishy Holmes and the case of the missing unicorn? Oh, he's so guile. Oh, Trishy Holmes. Oh, that is elementary Trishy Holmes. Oh dear, holy crap. Guy, that's so guile to see that. I don't know what to do. What to do? So that's there. Nope. No, it's not that. It's not that. So how do I use this information? I could rewrite the perfect mystery game for that role. Pity I could never show those developers don't take too kindly to people altering their stuff. Yeah, indeed. So that young lad in the police station, we have to use his. I don't.
Now, for the most important part, the testimony of Miss Long. She claims to have seen
Okay.
a woman speaking to a man near 29 Hanbury Street sometime around... What time, Watson?
I think it was 5:30.
Let us assume, therefore, that Miss Long's testimony is, as is most certainly the case, true. She places her meeting with the victim at around 5:30, claiming to have heard a clock chime on the half hour at the moment when she enters the street.
Okay, so there's 2 down. Okay. Oh no, I haven't seen it. I'd like to see Captain Marvel, but I haven't seen that yet. No, it's all good. I will go, Trish. I've heard it's good. Okay, Kev would probably say if it's good or bad. What do I do? What do I do? It's the thing with these older games, it's not always obvious. That's it, use this document as proof. Okay, so that's it. So we got the shoe and the shoe.
Now, let's put the Richardsons' arrival and departure times on the timeline. Now, let's put the Richardsons' arrival and departure times on the timeline.
Should we 5 minutes?
Despite the great respect I have for Dr. Phillips and the value I place on our friendship, my deepest conviction is that both of you are mistaken and that Richardson is in the right and that these 2 testimonies put down in writing
Nice.
have real worth.
But how? Explain yourself, Holmes.
Remember how you assessed the time of death? You touched the fingers and body of the victim, but it was remarkably cold for this time of year. In addition, the corpse had been drained of bodily fluids. Its heat retention was therefore no longer the same as that of an intact corpse.
Egad! You're right, Holmes.
Oh, I've had some time to research, Watson.
Given these facts, my first diagnosis may have been off by half an hour, perhaps even an hour.
Thus, we can confirm Richardson's statement and establish that the murder was committed after 4:50 a.m. and not before 4:30 a.m.
Okay. So there you go. Sherlock beats the. What do we say? I didn't like it. I thought it was directed quickly. 5.7 out of 10. Battle Angel 8.2 out of 10. My fiance said he feels like it's been made by feminists. Or too much feminism. It's woman's power and all that. I don't know. There may be some truth in it, I don't know. But I want to see it. Because then the only Marvel films that I haven't seen are... I've seen them all apart from the Guardians of the Galaxy films. And the third Thor film, I think, is the second. Would have been the second Thor film. It's okay if you're a bit of a fan. Okay. I'll watch it, but as you say, I won't really rush into it. Okay, so what we gotta do? I guess it's this one. This should be it. Okay. So this one.
Our next witness is Albert Kadosh.
Is this right?
Albert Kadosh goes down into his garden at approximately 5:20, and on re-entering his home, hears voices in number 29's garden. Let's place this symbol that represents Kadosh on the timeline. Kadosh goes back down into his garden approximately 4 minutes after having left it, and hears the sound of an impact against the wooden fence. Let's place this symbol that represents Kadosh on the timeline. Kadosh leaves the garden, enters his house, then leaves for work, seeing the clock on the Spitalfields church showing 5:32.
And then this one should be the last one. It's the time where Sherlock and Watson arrive. Which
We
is
left the station at 6 o'clock, and it took us 20 minutes to arrive at Hanbury Street.
That's 6:20.
Our arrival at the scene occurred at around 6:20. Given the distance separating the two locations, we can deduce that the corpse wasn't discovered after 6 o'clock, and therefore that the murder must have been committed before. Excellent, Watson. All our people are now in place.
Yes, but Holmes, Miss Long claims to have seen the victim at around 5:30. But according to Kadosh, someone, most certainly the victim and her murderer, was already in the garden at 5:30.
Excellent observation, Watson. It must be noted, however, that these two witnesses, Long and Kadosh, saw the time shown on the clocks in the area, which are often inaccurate and went by their empirical and, in this case, erroneous estimate of how much time had passed. Thus, neither of these two times can be considered reliable.
Do you mean to say that these two testimonies might match?
Indeed. Let's put Miss Long's meeting with the victim at 2 minutes before 5:30.
Albert Kadosh sounds loaded. Oh, good. Yeah, I know what you mean. He's got that name. He's got the rich man's name. So, let's move the time.
Let's
the
add
clock's
Miss
wrong.
Long's meeting with the victim at 2 minutes before 5:30 a.m.
So, he just said it 2 minutes before.
Mr. Kadosh claims to have passed by the Spitalfields church at 5:32, which, given the distance from 27 Hanbury Street, would mean he was still at home at 5:31. Let's therefore put the end of his testimony at 5:31. Miss Long heard the man say to the victim, "Will you?" To which the victim responded, "Yes," which would suggest that an agreement was reached and that the transaction was imminent. They then proceeded to enter the garden, which puts the voices heard by Kadosh at 5:29. We had thought that Kadosh had left 27 Hanbury Street at 5:31 after having heard an impact against the fence. Thus, 2 minutes passed between the moment when Kadosh entered the house after having been in the garden the first time and the moment when he returns to go out again and leave for work. How long did he estimate this interval to be? 3 to 4 minutes. In light of all this, Watson, we can finally establish the time of Chapman's murder. Now, place the knife at the exact time.
Oh, okay. By 30.
Now then, taking into account that the local clock isn't exact and that a young man was off by a minute or two in his estimations of his comings and goings, we can confirm Miss Long's testimony and place the time of the crime at approximately 5:30.
But in that case, Holmes, the man that Miss Long saw is none other than...
That's right, Watson. It was the Whitechapel killer.
To think that Miss Long and Kadosh were only a few feet away from him.
Indeed, Watson. Had Miss Long passed just a little closer to the victim and her assassin, or had the young Kadosh popped his head over the fence out of curiosity, the killer would most certainly already be behind bars.
That's some stroke of luck he had there.
I couldn't agree more, Watson. But his luck didn't end there, given the mutilations inflicted upon this poor woman. What must be considered above all is the killer's obvious wish to remove one and only one specific organ. His surgery pinpointed the exact spot, avoiding superfluous incisions. This suggests the man possesses at least a minimal anatomical knowledge.
Are you suggesting a doctor or a butcher?
Perhaps, but the possibilities are still too broad to conclude with any certainty. Now for the motive. Despite my almost complete lack of practical experience on the subject, I have a rather precise idea of the usefulness of a uterus and a vagina. Nonetheless, once they are separated from their usual envelope, I am more circumspect as to the uses one can make of them. What do you think, Watson? We need a board, Watson.
Oh, the Whitechapel killer. Blimey, chaps. The telltale guardian of the galaxy. The telltale one. I feel it'll be on Netflix pretty quick. Okay, yeah, I understand. I never played a Tell. I've got one of my next games is the Telltale Back to the Future, but it's just in the pipeline, I guess. Okay, here we go. Specimen for sole purposes of study, medical university requirement.
Perhaps it was intended as a study specimen.
I have little faith in that theory. Hardly anything was taken from the Bucks Row victim.
Black magic. Organ trafficking, no. No indication would suggest any ritual. Let's go for that one.
Black magic?
Watson, this line of investigation is far too vague. We don't have a single clue in support of such a motive. We can eliminate this hypothesis.
Cannibalism. No. Let's go for this one.
Holmes, what if it was cannibalism?
Even if the idea is unbearable, we can't ignore it as a possibility.
Trophy. Money and trafficking. That sounds about right.
A desire for some sort of morbid trophy.
I'd be inclined to dismiss this motive. If this were the case, why would nothing have been removed from the Bucks Row victim?
Money, quite simply.
Even if this motive seems incongruous, we're in no position to deny or affirm it until we know whether a market for human organs exists.
Let's go for...
Elementary. What
yes.
emerges from these possible motives for having removed the uterus from the second victim is that they implied that the killer could have carried out the same thing on the Bucks Row victim, yet didn't. This brings us to a terrible conclusion. Our killer has evolved in the space of only a few days, and if that's the case, had he already struck before the first murder to which we attribute him? And if the killer strikes again, what atrocity awaits his next victim?
We have to stop him, Holmes.
We shall do our best. This recent business of jar filled with formalin and of the American doctor might be a lead. Watson, inquire among medical circles to ascertain if there is a black market for human organs. The chances are slim, but this must be pursued.
Very well. What about you, Holmes?
I will send word to Inspector Aberline regarding our recent conclusions. I should also like to become a gas man and pay a visit to Bluto at the Wasp's Nest.
Understood, Holmes. I think one of my old university colleagues who works at the London hospital will be able to help me. I shall write him a note at once. He should be able to see me during the day. Afterwards, shall we meet here?
Yes, Watson. See you later, and good luck.
I must get to the London hospital, where my old university colleague works.
Okay, hospital's the next part. That's the worst one to try. I've played a bunch of them. I think I played most of the Walking Dead ones, but they got a bit boring afterwards. What else have I done? I've done the first series. I've done Batman, the first series. Telltale Games, that was pretty good. I did the Game of Thrones one. That was okay. I did The Wolf Among Us, which I think was probably the best. Hey, Mr. X, welcome. What else? What else? What other Telltale games? I have to check those. I like those games. Yeah, welcome, X-Man. Let's go to the hospital.
To the London hospital. Quick.
Quick.
My colleague agreed to meet me here in one of the London hospital rooms reserved for students.
Ah, John, you're there already. Punctual as always. Tell me, you don't seem to be in good shape. Is it possible that your recent marriage is making you this morose?
Ah, you know me well, Andrew. No, it's a strange and terrible affair that concerns me. Have you read my note?
Yes, I admit that I was surprised. It just so happens that I, too, was asking questions about our morgue.
What do you think? Have you heard of any organ trafficking within?
No, John. No doubt there exists some exchange between colleagues. Not quite legal, of course, but nothing that can qualify as trafficking. Since the Anatomy Act of 1832, which permitted the use of unclaimed corpses for science, the black market trade was definitely halted. There are sufficient subjects available for all practitioners and students. Of this I can confirm.
Well, organ trafficking as a lucrative trade is out of the question. Then what is troubling you with the morgue?
You are talking about trafficking organs, but I suspect there is trade in whole bodies.
What do you mean to say? Whole bodies are disappearing?
Well, it's confidential, but I know of your discretion and your friendship with the famous Sherlock Holmes. I can tell you that a few corpses have recently disappeared from the hospital morgue. Cadavers that were intended for dissection. That is to say, not claimed. Poor, unknown people. If a single corpse had disappeared, it might have been a bad joke. There are many students who pass through here. It's even a meeting spot. For the majority, they are here to work. A few come here in secret to practice. It also happens that instruments or organs go missing. Nothing alarming, but so many corpses. It's very troubling.
And that's weird. Who wants to steal bodies? What will you do?
But the hospital doctors aren't doing anything?
No. That is to say, they would prefer not to call the police at this point. An investigation would no doubt result in the suspension of authorizations for the use of unclaimed corpses. Do you think that you could intercede on our behalf with Sherlock Holmes to clear up this situation?
Which corpses are missing?
I don't know exactly, but I can make an exact list if you would like to wait here for a few minutes. Feel free to look around the room while you wait. It'll bring back memories.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay. There's a lonely head in there. It ain't got nobody. Oh, God. Good. And jokes. Told you the storyteller. Kev the storytelling, sock dealing guy.
This surgical instrument resembles a screwdriver. How amusing. It might come in handy. I will return it later.
Yeah, Sherlock's a thief.
It's here that students come to carry out their experiments. It's here that students come to carry out their experiments. This rag is full of grease. It certainly wasn't used for a dissection. Was someone doing some mechanical work here? These wheeled trolleys are very handy for laying out surgical instruments. The last lesson must have been about the human heart. And for a class of beginners, I expect, as this diagram is rather rudimentary. This wheel won't roll despite all of the added grease. Curious, as Holmes would say.
Okay, that is weird. Items.
A message. I'll be... Why the devil was it hidden here?
Oh. The magnet is in the heart. Use this board and erase it afterwards. That's elementary, Holmes. Classic Christmas jokes indeed. It's really scary how they used to operate back then. Yeah, indeed. You know, without the medical knowledge you'd have these days. Like, a lot of things which actually kill you, they thought would help you, like mercury. And like, remember the plagues? Like, when these, like, you'd have like a plant or like some sort of, some sort of plant or perfume in front of your nose. And I'd think back in the day, it like would stop like you getting the plague. Because it smells nice. It's just so weird. Okay.
An old prescription. Poor child, so young yet terminally ill. Strange, someone scrawled something. Part of it is in Latin. These are instructions, it would seem.
So have a wonder.
There is a heart in this jar. Based on its colouring, it hasn't been there long. And it looks like the drawing on the board. This jar contains 2 lids with combination locks.
Oh, here we go. Puzzles. That's where the saying "mad as a hatter" came from. I didn't know that. Mercury lace lining. Fair enough. I didn't know that. Fair enough. Okay. I won't forget that.
Incredible!
Nice.
Someone has hidden a magnet in this heart. But to what end?
Nice. Oof. It's too much brain power. Okay, so that's that bit done.
It's here that students come to carry out their experiments. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here.
Apart from that one.
Incredible! There is a magnet with a hook behind this pane of glass. I am in need of something.
Yeah, magnet probably. So let's use the magnet. Wrong button. Items, magnet. Ah, okay, so it's a puzzle again. So I guess we'd have to use the magnet. Let's use the magnet. So how are we gonna do this? Ah, okay. So it's opposites. Okay. So just the complete opposite. Crap. So there, down. Close. Nice.
There, all done.
GG.
Holmes couldn't have done better himself. A hole. I can make out something inside, but how to get it out? I will need a hook.
So I think we use what we just found to the other side. See items.
I found it. A coded message. I do believe I will need Holmes.
Here is the list, John. The missing corpses are those of a woman, 40 years old, beginning of August, another, 55 years old, 2 weeks ago, and recently, a young woman. These corpses had nothing in common except that they didn't have any apparent lesions.
All of this is very troubling. Well, I think that I have all of the information possible, and I promise that I will do what I can to clear up this business. I must leave you, my friend, and...
In the name of our friendship,
Please, don't go so stare.
To be sure. Thanks again, Andrew.
it is I who must thank you, John. Don't forget to keep me up to date and
Hey,
say
welcome
hello
back,
to your
Mr.
charming
X,
wife for me.
Count on
Welcome
me,
back,
Andrew.
you damn stomach.
I must go
Welcome
to the
back, Dave.
Wasp's Nest to find this rogue that Watson dubbed Bluto. He may be able to provide information on Dr. Tumblety. This lead, although tenuous, is well worth following. I must return to Whitechapel, but it would be better if I did so incognito.
So you have to get up, changed to be like a gas man. Is that it?
This should do the trick.
Nice. Anything else in here while we're at it? No, we're gonna go to the pub and act like we're a gas man, I think. Holmes, let's go. Let's go. Map. So, Whitechapel.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go to the wasp's nest.
Okay. Let's go into the pub. This is we had a basically right in front of me in the middle of the screen is a door, and that's where I needed to go last time I was here, but I didn't have access. So, because we're posing as a gas man, it should be able to give us access, so it should be pretty good.
There's something here.
Something where? Wrong button. I don't see what he's looking at. He said there was something where?
Old tongue.
So let's pick the tongs up. If I need to collect something. Items. Tongs.
There's something here. I see a jewel. It's fallen between the floorboards.
Oh. So I guess we're going to move these items out of the way. Like slide them, you know. Some sort of jewel. So I guess it's the bottom left. Okay, so there's that. I think it might be that what we need to do. Is it this? So the spoon went left. I've got a guide next to me, otherwise this will take me forever. Oh. Welcome back, Kev. Yeah, I'm using Sherlock Holmes in a disguise. You got the what is it? You got the poops. Yeah, I'm posing as a gas man. Let's hope you don't knock him with chin eddies. yeah. It's alright for us people who've seen the show called Bottom. We'll understand that reference, but that TV show was so good. Yeah. I don't know your age, but because I'm old enough, I remember the Bottom show. It was pretty. I like them. You know, that's proper British comedy. I guess I need to get that out, I think. I guess that can only go up. I think. I hate damn tile puzzles. I'm dead old. If you're older than 34, which is my age. God, I hate damn puzzles. Something like that. That sounds right. Okay. 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 I think this is going right. I think so. Guy, or that should be it. That should be it. Okay, you're older than me. Yeah, X-Man, he's the youngest, I think. I don't know who else is lurking.
A Hebrew inscription.
Nice.
Going by the length of the chain, it must belong to a child.
It's just one of them complicated tile puzzles.
Hello there. You looking for a gas man?
You really a gasser? You sure it isn't a bobby?
Well, if you don't need me, I'll be on my way then. I've already been paid up.
Stay. Who paid you?
A doctor, Marston, I think he was. He told me you'd talk to me about a foreigner, name of Tumblety, if I did you a favour.
Right, mate. Might happen.
What is it you need me to do then?
Listen to me. At the end of Whitechapel, there's an abandoned dump of a house. Opposite Finley's boarding house. Upstairs in the mess where the gas pipes are, you'll find a sack with something heavy inside. If you look in, you'll regret it here. You find it, you bring it here, and you don't tell a soul, right?
Got it. And then you'll tell me about this Tumblety so that I can report back to the doc?
Yeah, doctors know people. And since you is here, it's because he'll move mountains for his American. Me, I don't know much. But you can tell him that he'll have to talk to Squibby. He seems to know lots about plenty. When you come back with a sack, I'll tell you what he needs to tell Squibby so that he snitches on the yank to him. Believe me, mate, it's as explosive as 10 miles worth of gas in your damn pipes.
Right then, I'm off.
Go. Give me some air.
God, what a nice guy.
I could arrange for the police to come down here and arrest this thug, but he seems pretty tough and would probably be
Don't
a
we
lot
all
less
did get
cooperative than if I play along.
Kev's
It's
random
best I
of the day.
handle this myself, including meeting the mysterious Squibby.
Kev's random of the day. When you're drinking soda, try not to burp through your nose, as you have to see for a bit. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the tip. Okay. Somewhere around here.
It's the abandoned house that Bluto pointed out to me. He must have set up his hideout there. There's a strange smell coming from this old building.
Okay.
Good day, Finley.
Good day, sir. Have we met before?
It's me, Sherlock Holmes, but I don't want it to be known that I'm here. Can I count on you?
Certainly, Mr. Holmes. I shall be as silent as the grave.
Your tenant, Dr. Tumblety, is he here?
I don't think so. I'll go and find out.
It would seem you've been having some gas problems.
Don't talk to me about it. The problem is from the abandoned house not far from here, but nobody has come to take care of it.
Perhaps I could go and take a look. Do you have a ladder?
No, but I think in the pile of wood under the stairs there is one in pieces. And if you also need something from the scrap heap, some old tools or who knows what, feel free to take it, Mr. Holmes. But leave the dishes in good condition.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
Okay. So look at that weird look.
This old cloth could be used as a mask. I must moisten my makeshift mask. Some old nails, they may come in handy. Finley's ladder is smashed to pieces, but all the parts appear to be here. This must be a piece of the ladder.
So I guess we got a...
Part of a perfume atomizer. This must be a piece of the ladder. This lead pipe could help me to repair the gas lines.
So I think we got to get in there and make a ladder, have a makeshift mask and fix it. Looks like that's what we got to do. I don't think I've ever done that. Yeah, me and Mr. X have never done it. I insist that you try in the comfort of your own home.
A heap of rusted iron crockery.
I think I might pass. It's good that you did it as an experiment. Holy crap.
This lead pipe could help me to repair the gas lines. This must be a piece of the ladder.
Anything else this side?
Water. Part of a perfume atomizer. This lead pipe could help me to repair the gas lines. A broken hammer. I will have to find a handle.
Anything else? I think that might be it.
Water.
Water. Items.
There. This damp cloth will do for a mask.
So that's one bit. Is there anything else we need to do? So say we got. I guess we got to make. Okay. Items. Stick. Little stick. Okay. So we can't do that. Yeah, that bit happened to me, Mr. X. Then you two have never lived. I've had food. I've had like some spaghetti come out my nose before. That was rough. That's my top tip of the day is when you got food in your mouth or pasta, don't laugh. Because somehow mine come out my nose and that was rough. Sure. Or if you got a drink and that come out your nose, it's so tender. I'm sure he was sneezing. Yeah, thanks Trish. Yeah, I like it. It's nice and chilled. So I just got to put this all the ladder together. So we just have to combine a few things. So what we got? I think I'm missing something. How can I walk into the light? Idiot. Change camera angle.
How is your investigation going, Mr. Holmes?
Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you and goodbye. I need to...
Closed.
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 Okay, have we got all the bits? I need to make. Okay, it's 2 parts. Ugh. So combine that with... Okay, so we've got the hammer. Okay. Okay, so that's there. Okay. Done. So I guess then I've got to make the ladder. Yep. I wonder if Trisha's ever done the soda nose burp. Yeah, I've done that. It's like, ugh. Have you already finished with the Ebony Cane side quest? Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, because you handling at the brothel to get the information. Yeah, I did that earlier on. Yeah, I did that earlier on. Because you have to get the harness made by the cobbler, take it to the hospital, well, the clinic, sorry, take it to the clinic, then he gives you the cane, then you get the cane and take it to the brothel, and then they give you information. So much running about. Nice, we got a ladder. Now we gotta get... Is it here?
I hope this ladder will support my weight. Let's go.
Now we gotta need to use them.
My cloth mask won't make much difference, but I'll be able to inspect the room for a few seconds.
Okay, so that's that. So yeah, let's keep going. How lot of time is it? I think, guys, I'm going to finish a little bit earlier today because it's been quite a long week. So I've got 18 minutes past 10. I'm going to finish probably about 10:30. I don't really want to go much further. But yeah, let's keep going.
The leak must have been sudden. Even the animals didn't have time to escape. The leak must have been sudden. Even the animals didn't have time to escape.
So one thing we got to do is we've got to fix the gas leak.
The leak must have been sudden. Even the animals didn't have time to escape.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Someone left here in a hurry, presumably because of the gas leak.
It's like Sherlock's hat.
This iron bar will help me.
I love that.
small torch, a useful tool for opening safes, I would assume, but the gas bottle is empty.
Okay, so I've got a torch, and I've got that bar.
I need something.
Let's see if we can use the bar.
The leak is coming from here. The satchel is behind these pipes. This explains why the thug wanted someone who knew about gas. He must have hidden it there in great haste and broke the pipes in the process. The satchel seems to be quite stuck. I don't think I can get it out without passing out. For good. I need a more suitable mask. The kind used by tanners would do nicely.
So I've got to go back out and get another mask. That's it.
How is your investigation going, Mr. Holmes?
I'll be needing a mask of the sort tanners use. Do you know where...
Go check in the little lane across from the clinic. At the cobbler's, perhaps.
So we got to go to
Thank you, and
the
goodbye.
cobbler.
Goodbye, Mr.
The
Holmes.
Jewish cobbler. Oh, what have I missed? So, okay, Trish. Says Trish, you say about me, about get me buying games, Trish, and you're doing exactly the same. Some were free, some were a couple of pounds. I've got 5 new games, loads of fear. See Trish, moaning about me buying games. Okay, so we've got to speak to the cobbler. Ba-dum.
How do, sir?
Hello. I'm sorry to say, but I'm closing.
This man seems wary. I must find a way to win his confidence.
Bribe him.
How do, sir?
Hello. I'm sorry to say, but I'm closing.
I am here because I found this.
Abraham's beard. The son of one of my neighbors was beaten in the street a few weeks ago and it was stolen from him. If you would give it to me, I promise to return it to him and get you a reward.
Money doesn't interest me.
Who are you, sir? And what do you want from me?
I'm a friend of Dr. Watson's. You know him, don't you?
In that case, welcome. Dr. Watson is a great man, and I would be pleased to help one of his friends.
You work the leather and perhaps even tan it yourself. I believe tanners wear special masks to protect themselves from the toxic emissions given off by the vats used to soak the leather. I have a gas leak to fix, and I won't survive without something effective to protect myself with.
Go see my cousin Abraham, who has a pet shop a little further down the road. Tell him that Isaac sent you. That's me.
Okay,
I'll be off now.
My regards to Dr. Watson.
so now we're going to go somewhere else. Can I leave? Boom. So where do I need to go? So where the hell do I need to go? I have to go. Origami. Yesterday Origins. Beholder Complete Edition. Beyond Eyes. I don't actually know any of those, Trish. They're all new to me. They are. I don't know. I haven't heard of any of those. So we need to find
Bucks Row.
Bucks Row. I've got to find a pet store. I don't know where to go.
Can I help you, sir?
You work the leather and perhaps even tan it yourself. I believe tanners wear special masks to protect themselves from the toxic emissions given off by the vats used to soak the leather. I have a gas leak to fix, and I won't survive without something effective to protect myself with.
Go see my cousin Abraham, who has a pet shop a little further down the road. Tell him that Isaac sent you. That's me.
Yeah, I understand that. Varieties.
I'll be off now.
My regards to Dr. Watson.
Variety is a good thing. Don't know where to go. Obviously, I need to find a pet store. Closed. I don't know where it is. It's like the 2066 game with Turing. I love that, but you don't know about these games till you explore. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, there it is. Ugh, idiot.
This is a pet shop.
Walked straight past it.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
You must be Abraham Solomonovich. I came on behalf of your cousin, Isaac. He said that you might be able to help me. I need a good mask to protect me from gas emissions so I can repair a leak.
Yes, it should help you. But I let it drop into the big snake cage, and they are very dangerous beasts. I don't know how to retrieve it.
But you must be equipped to deal with these creatures safely, surely.
Of course, but I broke my hook. It should be over there. If you succeed in getting that beast from its cage, you will be doing me a great favor.
This cage must do to hold the snake.
So, somehow, I think that might be under him. So there's a mask.
This cage must do to hold the snake. This cage must do to hold the snake.
He's just stealing everything.
I have the broken hook. I can repair it, but I'll need some materials. Perhaps I'll find some material at Isaac's that will be of use.
I think that might be it. What time is it? 10:31. I think I might end it there, guys. I think I'll probably end it there. I checked the room.
I need something.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Check this room for more stuff. Let's talk to him
Have
again.
you let the snake out of its cage?
Nope. I think that's it. I think I'll save it. Save. Yes. So there we go. Hold on, let me have a look. Yeah, I was actually being nosy on your YouTube, V-Man. You've streamed like 35 games. Wow, I didn't know. Well, over 35. V-Man has so many games. Wait, what other person is the same with the last person you meet? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's just a Jewish look. Okay, no worries, Kev. Yeah, no worries, Trish, not a problem. Yeah, catch you all later, and good night everyone, and thanks for stopping by. It's pretty good progress. Bye. Thanks for the GGs. Yeah, pretty good progress, really. See you all later, and take care. Gute Nacht.